cousin said, "Your ex and I are getting married." I replied, "Congratulations," even though it was dumb because my ex Cecil had just shoved me down our apartment stairs 3 months ago. The bruises had just faded from my ribs, purple-green marks that took 12 weeks to disappear completely. I'd shown her the photos on my phone at her kitchen table, played her the voicemails where he called me worthless, even let her read the text where he said I'd die alone and unloved like a pathetic loser. But when Tanya announced it that Sunday dinner, her face all glowing and excited, flashing the same diamond he'd given me last year, I just smiled warmly. "Have you set a date?" I asked, watching Mom literally squeal with delight. She looked genuinely thrilled by how supportive I was being. Probably expected me to flip the table, scream the truth, make some dramatic scene about what Cecil really was underneath the charm. Instead, I passed her the breadbasket, even complimented her engagement ring. Then Tanya touched my hand gently, her face full of fake concern. "I don't think you should come to the wedding though. It would be too hard for you to watch, you know. I'm doing this for your own good." Mom nodded along like this made perfect sense, protecting poor fragile me from having to see my ex happy. The next morning, first thing, I walked straight into the community college admissions office and enrolled in their culinary program. Cecil used to say culinary school was for losers who couldn't get real careers, that I was wasting my potential on minimum wage kitchen work, called my baking dreams stupid and childish. So naturally, I signed up for the professional pastry track, paid in full, and changed my phone number that same afternoon without telling anyone where I was going. 2 weeks later, I was standing in a commercial kitchen, wearing chef whites and absolutely butchering my first croissant attempt. Found a part-time job at a local bakery working 4 a.m. shifts before classes. Rented a studio apartment above a laundromat with terrible water pressure. Started learning French pastry techniques from scratch using library books and free online videos. For the first time in years, life felt purposeful and completely mine. Every single day brought new techniques to master. Meanwhile, I focused on getting better and ignored everyone's attempts to drag me back. My old email filled with messages I didn't read. My former coworkers mentioned my mom had been calling the office asking for my new contact information. I just kept making bread. Month 4, my croissants were finally good enough to sell at the farmer's market on weekends. That's when I met Luke at the bread booth next to mine on a freezing Saturday morning. He was running his family's 3rd-generation grain farm, supplied flour to half the bakeries in town, and had this incredibly patient way of explaining heritage wheat varieties. We started meeting for coffee before market setup, but really we were just building something beautifully uncomplicated together. Looking at the context in the section you want revised, here's a more dramatic version. One random Wednesday afternoon, while Luke and I were testing recipes for a new sourdough blend in my tiny kitchen, someone started pounding on my apartment door like they were trying to break it down. I opened it to find my aunt standing there, her face flushed and desperate. She'd somehow tracked me down after 6 months of nothing. "Don't you dare close this door," she said, pushing past me into my kitchen. Tanya's marriage lasted